chaos is all around us.
COVID-19 cases have almost doubled.
Another COVID milestone for the United States.
Healthcare workers are still struggling.
We live in a world where commotion seems to be heavily present. We find ourselves not being able to catch a break from the next big problem. But what if the storms we face don't come to disrupt our lives? Rather, they come to clear our paths. About 2.5 years ago, I was living in the country of Chile in South America. I was planning on living there for nearly 2 years, and Spanish was essential because most of the people down there don't speak English. I remember there was this one evening I was walking the streets with my friend. I became so overwhelmed and frustrated because I couldn't understand anyone. No one could understand me. I couldn't express myself, and I felt as if nobody knew how I personally felt. I became really good at complaining because I felt the situation I was in made me eligible to do so. And so for several weeks, that's what I did. I complained and I waited because I couldn't speak and I couldn't understand. And eventually I got to the point where I was like, I gotta do something different about this. So one night I sat there and I was like, what can I do to better help my situation? So that evening I sat there and I was like, I can't express myself verbally, but how can I express myself in another way? So that night I changed my perspective. I decided to focus on what I could do, which was smile. And I know that sounds so ridiculous and so simple, but I made it a goal that whether I was frustrated, whether I was happy, whether I was confused, whether I was lost, whatever situation I was in, I was going to smile because I knew deep down inside that that was going to help me and that was hopefully going to help someone else. I stayed consistent with my goal, and one late night in Santa Sabina, Chile, it paid off. My friend was talking to this woman as we were buying completos, which are Chilean hot dogs, and I remember she said something that made my friend stop, look at me with a slight grin, and then turn back to her and continue the conversation. I had no idea what was going on because I didn't understand what he was saying or what she was saying. But you bet your bottom dollar that I was standing behind him, observing what was going on with the biggest smile on my face. Later that night, my friend explained to me in his broken English that the woman saw me smiling and wanted me to share the happiness that I had with her son, who was struggling. Right then and there, I realized that my minor perspective change had the potential to truly help other people. Imagine if I had stayed looking frustrated or angry. It would have been very difficult for me to build a relationship or even connect with all the locals in that small Chilean town. And the same goes with our outlook on life. If we find ourselves only focusing on the problems we face, others might not come to us as a source of inspiration or help. Now let me make something clear. I'm not saying that we can't have bad days or problems. I'm simply suggesting that viewing the world and our problems from a slightly larger perspective could benefit us and potentially others. You see, I had been happy the entire time being there in Chile, even with all the struggles I was encountering. But it wasn't until my perspective shifted that I realized it. A few years back, I heard this life-changing quote, and it says this: "The joy we feel has little to do with the circumstances of our lives and everything to do with the focus of our lives. Perspective is everything." We can sit at home and we can complain about our shortcomings and our poorly dealt hands. Or we can get up and we can make simple changes in our lives that we feel might not be the most effective in the moment, but as a result can truly affect our lives and the lives of those around us. Remember this: changing your attitude is changing the way you feel. Changing your perspective is changing the way you live. So I often tell myself, Ethan, you have 3 options to overcome this difficult situation or to stick through this. You can either complain, wait, or act. Perspective is everything. So how will you change or use yours?